Hello everyone, this is Veronica again here for Eternal Creations Design, and this will be my first official video regarding making jewelry. So I'm glad that you are all here. I am so excited. So I am going to do a couple of things here with the bargain bead box that came for September. And let me show you the materials we're going to need, because we're going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings to match. So I have here, this actually came from Beadbox Bargains, which is the sister site. And this is the dark chocolate brown tiger tail. And I have, you're going to need two 8-inch or whatever length you want your necklace. Okay. So I like mine about 17 inches. And since I have two of these, which is 8 inches at 16 inches, and then the clasp and that stuff will make it a little bit over about 17 to 17 and a half inches. Okay. I did finish the other strand, so I just wanted to let you know you do need two for each side. The toggle clasp, which came in the box. I have my own seed beads here, which are the Gilded Marble Brown in the Toho 11 O's. I am going to be using the, this is that filigree moon. And let me see, is it, where did it go? Sorry, I have so many of the items here that I'm using. So yeah, this is going to be the 37 millimeter filigree style crescent moon pendant. And what I did here, and you don't have to, is I have some flat backs, and I just glued them on there. I just think it's so pretty because it does have the purple in there. That also the vitriol of the star cut bead is has the purple vitriol. And I have from my own, these are the 4 millimeter half AB rondelle crystals, faceted crystals. And I have my jump rings. You're going to need 4 of your clam shells that came in the bargain bead box. Okay, and the chain also that came in there, the steel oval chain, 4x3. What I did was, let's see if I can bring it in. Anyway, I know it's, let me just bring that back out. It kind of goes off center when you come in close. So I cut 2 links, 3 links, and 4 links from that chain. Okay, so as you can see, I have 9 of these shells for each side. So you'll need 18 of the freshwater shell coin beads, and I have 3. Oh, actually, I need 4 of the indigo matte glass round beads in the 6 millimeter. Okay, I believe that. Yes, I have 4. Okay, so also for the earrings, I did the same thing with that filigree, as I put a beautiful embellishment on there. Now, if you don't have those, you can actually take any crystal, like a 3 or a 4 millimeter, and just wire wrap it around in there. Okay, but I just thought that was just so pretty, and I'm going to do this. So that's just a little extra. That's not necessary. So again, this is going to be for technique, and also if you're somebody who has the subscription box and you want to be inspired by this design, or you want to do the exact one, great. That'll be awesome. So with the earrings, I am going to have 2 of those 4 millimeter faceted rondelles. I'm going to have 2 of the star faceted vitriol, the purple vitriol, and 2 of the shell beads, coin beads with that. So I'm going to put those aside because we are going to start with the necklace. Okay, so again, 2 of those. You'll need 4 of the clam shells. I have some crimp beads here. This came in, so they're more of the generic. I do have my copper tone from Beadalon for my seed beads here, and that, because that's going to be showing on the outside. These are going to be inside the clamshell, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so just make sure if you are going to do this design that you're going to have 18 of these shells for each side. You're going to need 8 of your indigo, and I'm not sure exactly. These are just going to go in between each, so I didn't actually count it out, but you'll see when we create it. All right, and then the 11 O's is basically going to finish off the end of the necklace strand here to bring it to the top, so we can add the other end of the clamshell. And that is a bit of a challenge because it becomes magnetic on your tools. So now let me grab the tools so you can see what we need. All right, so I have here, these are my tweezer nose, or 2-in-1 crimp and tweezer nose pliers. I have my wire cutters also from Xuron, and these are the bent nose. These are going to help open up the jump rings. I have my round nose pliers so we can make our loops to dangle what we need to dangle. You will also, and if you want, you can have your wire straightener, because we are going to use wire, of course. And if you don't have any of the tweezer nose pliers, use a flat nose pliers. As if you have flat nose, that can help crimp the bead. Because it's wide, it's just, you'll just need to be a little extra careful so you don't crack your seed beads when you go to crimp. And it's much easier to get inside of a clamshell when you have the tweezer nose pliers, because that would make it very difficult. So I'm going to be using a 22 gauge and a 20 gauge. They are the antique copper, and these are actually from artbeads.com, but I do have some parawire, but I don't have the 22 or the 20 gauge in antique copper in the parawire. All right, so why don't we begin? I'm going to need to move some of these out of the way so we can just focus on getting this string done, okay? And this way the camera won't focus on everything in the background. But also I wanted to let you know that I do videos for Homestrung Jewelry YouTube channel. I will leave links for that. There is one on there that's got a huge amount of views, and that is about protecting the metals. If you want to watch it over there beforehand, before I actually do a video for my own channel here, you know, you can actually go and watch it there. Also, I do for Wendy's Crafting Friends. I am one of the designers on that channel. Also, they'll probably be changing that channel's name to This Beaded Life. So I just wanted to let you know that if you are someone who is subscribed to my channel, that is also subscribed over there, and you haven't heard that news, well, you heard it first here, I guess. Anyway, so why don't I just move this stuff out of the way, and let's start beading our 8-inch wire, or whatever you decide as your length. And again, this is the tiger tail that I got from Beadbox Bargains, which is the sister site to Bargain Beadbox. And you know, it's not top quality, but it's still, with the weight of the beads, it'll keep it nice, and you don't have to worry about, you know, it bending or things like that. If you're somebody who hangs up your jewelry and your necklaces, then great, you don't have to worry about things like that. But if you start throwing it in drawers and it starts getting bent up against something else, then you may want to worry about it. But other than that, these are just as good as any other beading wire. And so let me just start with the beads that we need for here. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to start here with our strand. And let's see, can you... Yeah, that might help. Don't mind my hands, I have marker on them. I was doing some resin work. In fact, I did this. This is like my first one like that. Isn't that pretty? That's got some dichroish mylar in there. So, and I did the back here. I just used marker. I have some from Bic actually, so, and it covered it pretty well, and then I just put some resin over it, and that back background just really makes anything that you put in here that's got that shimmer to it really pop. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. I don't know if I want to add just a bail or do just very simple wire work and make it a pendant in this direction. I'm not sure. I would rather have it like that, but yeah, so that is a little bit of my resin work that I'm trying to work out. I'm pretty new at it, but it, you know, it can't be that difficult to figure things out when you're watching others who do a great job. All right, so anyway, so what I'm going to do is take one of the crimp beads here, okay, and this is where I'm going to take my tweezer nose crimp bead here, but I'm not going to be using any of those areas where it's got the teeth marks or the teeth in there. This is just a bead that I'm going to flatten, and I can leave just a wee bit at the top, as long as it'll fit inside that shell and you don't have to trim it anymore. Okay, and I want to make sure it's straight. And so I'm going to go ahead and squash, okay? All right, now this is where you can add on your clamshell. Oh, I think I put it in backwards. Silly me. All right, so you got to come from the inside, okay? And then just bring it up, and you'll see it line up, and then just give it a close. Now, of course, with clamshells, they don't always close. So that's when you could take your tool and kind of like on the sides, close it up a bit. And same thing, turn it over if you feel that they're not lined up or closed all the way. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna bring this back out. And from here, we're just gonna follow a pattern. Now, I know there's only 9, so that means there's gonna be an odd one, or you can't put 2 together. So that is gonna end that as far as the beads go, and then we start with doing our seed beads. So we're gonna start with 2 of the clam shells, 2 of the freshwater shells, but in between each, first put on your shell, and in between each is where you're going to put in one of the AB crystals here. It's just so pretty, so pretty. And then another one. And, you know, these will spin around on there, so you don't have to worry about picking which side is which, because one side might be darker than the other, whereas the other will be lighter and show more of the AB finish that's on there. They will spin around. Okay, another one of our, okay, and then we're going to put on a blue one, our indigo. That bead is so gorgeous, just so gorgeous. And that, and then we're going to go back to putting 2 of these on, and just double check your work as you're going along so that you can see if you missed anything before you string the whole thing and have to take it apart. So I'm really excited, and well, you know, about getting this channel. And when I woke up this morning, so Friday, I think it was Friday when I got home, when or Thursday night when I got home, that I put up the channel, and here it is Saturday, and I already have 14 subscribers. I was so excited. So it's just a nice thing for, you know, the community to come together and share each other's, you know, differences in how we make jewelry, which I think is amazing, because I truly like to be unique in my designs. And I gotta say, I really like to make things that are things that I know that I'm going to wear, and not just because I know that I don't wear big bulky jewelry. That doesn't mean I won't make it, because if somebody likes it and they want me to make that for them, I absolutely will. So and you know, you can make some really, really beautiful things with bigger beads and stuff. So yeah, so now we're going to go back to our 2. We can find the hole. Okay, and then another blue. So as you can see, this is what the pattern is looking like right now. Just so pretty. Okay. We're going to have one more set of the 2. And just, you know, these here, these freshwater shell beads, they're not all exactly the same. Some are a little bit thicker, some are thinner, some maybe just a tad smaller. So just wanted to let you know that when it comes to doing the seed beads here at the end, I can't tell you exactly how many. You're just going to fill it up to where it looks the same on the other strand, or where you know you have enough to grab onto to add your clamshell. So because they could differ in sizes very slightly, which would then, you know, your seed beads would not be the exact on each side. Okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to add this one, and then we're going to add one more of the blue, and our last shell bead. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. It's so pretty. Let's see if I can do it up close. So there you have it. Now we're going to go ahead and add our seed beads on. See if I can pull those into the frame. Maybe we can do that without having to go back out. So it's easier if you spread them apart. It's easier to grab, okay, when you're picking them up at the end of a needle or anything like that. If they're in a big pile, it's hard to get through. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just, basically we're going to just add whatever we can to come to the length as close to the end as possible, while leaving room to get our clamshell on to close it up. So essentially that's what we're doing. So I'm going to just finish the rest off, and when I get to the end here, we're going to go ahead and do the clamshell. All right, so I've got them all on here, and I have probably about 1/4 of an inch left over. Now this is where it's going to get tricky. So what I do is, I just want to make sure everything is down. You can kind of have this curved because it's naturally going to go around your neck. So you don't want to tighten it. Excuse me. You don't want to tighten anything on here when it's straight, because then when you do go to bend it, it puts too much pressure on your beads here. And especially with the glass beads, it could crack them. So what I'm going to do is hold this here. You're going to need 2 tools. Okay. So what I want to do is hold one here, take the smallest tool you end of the tool that you have, and I'm going to go and I'm going to cinch these in place. So this is where I'm taking my copper beadle on crimp tube, or crimp bead rather. Okay. So basically you want to make sure you drop it on there. Let me see if I can bring this closer now. Let's see. All right, so you're just going to pick it up and drop it on there. And let it fall next to the other bead, okay? I know it's almost like you can't even tell, but we are going to squash it. So grab with the other one. I'm using my bent nose, and I'm going to come in and very carefully position my tool to squash that right on top of the other bead, okay? I know it's sticking out more on one side, but it's going to be towards the back of your neck, so it really isn't going to be a big deal. Now, if you don't have clamshells, then you can certainly make a loop, just like you would if you were to create that loop and bring it around into a crimp tube, and then bring it through the other beads just to hold it in place, and then use your other crimping tool to close that up. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add this on. I want to make sure I have as little as magnetic goings on here. So I'm going to bring this down a bit. Now I opened it up a little bit wider. I don't know if you noticed that, but when it comes to getting the end of your necklace, it's best that you open it a little bit wider, because you're going to need your tool to get in there to shut this, to crimp the other bead that we have here. Okay, now I'm going to hold this. Now you won't lose your beads now because you've cinched it in place. And I want to go ahead and put this in here. This is where you're going to have to not be so worried about the magnetism that's going on. You just have to work around that, okay? Of course it spun around on my thing. I'm going to try to hold it at least until I get the bead on there. Okay, this is where I can, like I said, you need like 5 hands to do all this stuff, but we only got 2, so we're going to have to work with the 2 that we have. Okay, now we're going to let that fall down there. Okay, now notice it's going to want to stick to your tool, so try to keep that down up against your up against your other beads. So we're going to have to try to get down in here. I'm trying to hold on to this. Now I don't mind if there's space between that bead and the top here, because this is where it can get too challenging and you won't be able to get your work done. So right here, I'm going to leave a little at the end as long as it fits right into that bead, okay, where it fits right inside your clamshell. So I have enough left over, but still enough extending from that. So I'm going to squash from here, okay. And this is where I can come in, and if you feel like you need to cinch a little bit more off, you can do that. If you feel like you didn't place it properly, or I'm just going to snip a little off just because I don't want any of it sticking outside of that clamshell. And then just line it up like that. We're going to come in. You can use your fingers to close it first. Okay. Sometimes it closes really nicely just with your fingers. And so you'll see that there's just a little left of that. So, and this will hold your beads in place. Okay. So now, and you can always get a crimp cover and cover that if you want. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is find one, and if not, then I'm just going to continue with doing this tutorial, obviously, and then I'll go search for them later because I think I have them buried somewhere. But this would be a great place to put a crimp cover, okay, if you have one. All right, let's bring the other stuff back into frame, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to work on getting these into making our wraps. Now I want to use the 22 gauge because it is thinner, and the 20 gauge may be a little too bulky and take away from the delicacy of these little pieces here. And let me bring it up. So I want to kind of have it like that. Okay, can you see that? So these are going to be the danglies in here, and I have my jump rings for the necklaces, but I also want to bring in the 3 link and the 4 link is what we're going to hang them from. And so I'll need a jump ring to put them. I want to put them all on one jump ring and then hang it from here. So I think I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring, and let's see, I think that's what I'm going to do, because I think that if I make my own with the 20 gauge, it might be too bulky. So I am going to come in and grab one of my little 4mm here. These are great because they are stainless steel, and they're just beautiful and delicate. And I don't mind adding gold because obviously you've got all kinds of beautiful colors going on in here. And I do like to mix my metals. If you do it right, it's just beautiful. If you can mix colors in your beads, you can certainly mix your metals. So, you know, I do. Some people say, don't mix metals. I don't know why they would say that. It just makes no sense. If it looks pretty together the way you make it, then sure, go for it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take, so I want this on the 2-piece, I want this on the 3, and this on the 4 length. Okay, so that's how I want to do it. So we're going to have to make our little wraps. Now, with this one being so small, I just may take a ball head pin, and I am going to use it in gold because it is very tiny. And I think if I use a 22 gauge, it still might be a little bulky for my little 4mm. Okay, so it's a little crooked, but that's okay. We'll try to straighten that out as much as possible. And I am going to be cleaning and sealing these. But I definitely want to make sure this is straight. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that on here, and we'll do a wrap. I'm going to move these out of the way because that's going there. We'll bring this one in the frame, and then we'll put that aside. Okay, so now because these are soldered, okay, we're going to have to do the wrap. So before we actually complete the full wrap, we're going to have to insert it into one of these, okay? And this is how we'll do it. So I want to take just the very, very, very tip here, okay? And even then you don't have to. I think if you were to just take this tiny thing and bend it over, it'll still leave enough space for you to do a little wrap. Okay, so I'm going to do that. See? Still got a little space in there. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers. I'm going to put that in here. We don't need a big old loop here. Okay, come around. Just shift your round nose pliers and then bring this over so that you have a nice little loop here. Okay, and then you can just shift it just a wee bit. Okay, and then from here, we're going to go ahead and open this just a little bit more because we have to get this on here. So as you can see, we're going to put it through one of the loops. We're going to go ahead and close that. And then hold it right there where it crosses, okay? Just get a good grip on it because it might spin on you. Okay, now these are brass, so they are gonna, this does bounce back, and this is the reason why I'm going to be sealing a lot of this stuff, is because the brass will turn brown and within a few days. So, and I don't like that. I want it to keep that nice gold color that's already here. Okay, and you can keep going if you want to give it kind of like a little bead cap look to it if you want. Maybe I will. Whoops. See, it likes to bounce. All right, so I am going to snip right there. Hopefully. All right. And then you can take a little bit and just kind of bring that in a little. Okay, so it's not sticking out. So now you have one little dangly there. We're going to do this. I'm going to do now the same thing with my 2 and my 3. So I'm going to show you one more time how to do that wrap, okay? Same thing, except this one we're going to be using our 22 gauge. So I'm just going to take a little bit, so probably about 3.5 inches, something like that. I'm just using my fingers to straighten out because we're going to be doing the loops and everything. So what I want to do is make sure that the end that I'm going to fold over, make my own kind of like a little head pin. Make sure that's nice and flush, okay? Now it's hard to see, but just, you know, like that. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off here. It's probably more than we need. And then I'm going to take this here right at the very end because I only need something small. And I'm going to bring this over. So you kind of have one of those, okay? And then you're just going to, it's almost like you're just going to close it up. So you can make your own tiny little head pin. And you can make a rosette, so you could use like a 26 gauge to make a rosette if you want. I'll probably be doing those in the videos as well. Okay, so now we're going to take the next one we want is this. Okay. So we're going to go right to the top of that bead, and we're just going to go to the end of that. We're going to bend that over. Go around those pliers. Okay, and again, the loops don't have to be huge. I'm going to come around, shimmy that up, and then bring it over. And if you feel like you need to just shimmy it up a little bit more so that this is parallel, okay? We're going to go ahead and open that. And now we're going to add the one that has the 3. Add it right onto the 3. Close it up. And be very careful. Don't give it a death grip, but firm enough where it's not going to slip when you're making your wraps. Okay, we're going to come around and just wrap until it closes up. And usually with that length that you created with the end of your the end of your tweezer, usually get about 2.5 to 3 wraps. I'm just going to go a little bit more. Hopefully create something that looks like a bead cap. We'll see. If that doesn't work out, I'll just make sure I cut it off. It's getting caught up on the other side there. Okay. So yeah, kind of looks like a little bead cap. It's kind of neat because then it kind of fits the motif here, which is, you know, you got some swirls and circles and things like that. So, and again, just come in and tuck it in a wee bit. Okay, there's number 2. So I'm going to get number 3 on here. Same thing, we're going to do the same process with our shell bead, okay? And I'll be right back. All right, so I have all of my danglies here for my moon right here. So it is going to be, I'm thinking I'm not sure if I want to stagger them or put them all in a row. So I'm going to take my 4mm. I'm going to open that. And then I want to insert them. So I'm thinking maybe this first, then the long one. So I'll take the one in the middle, put it on first, take the longest one and put it in the middle, and then I'll take this one and put it like that. So let's just go ahead and close that and see what happens and see what it looks like. Because I'm going to open it up again to attach it. I could turn it around. I think I might want it this way. Yeah, that's the way I'm going to hang it. All right, so let me open this back up. And I want to put it on this way so that this little one is showing towards the front a little bit. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a challenge here. You don't want to lose all your stuff here. Oh boy. Try to get in here and close that jump ring. Because everything wants to wiggle around. Hopefully I was in frame for you there. I gotta really make sure I got a good grip on that. It's hard to see. All right, I'm gonna have to put it down here for a second. And let's see. Okay, I think I got it. All right, I definitely need to, where is it? All right, let's just see. So it goes right to the end there. So I don't have to trim anything. I don't have to shorten anything. So this is good. Let me see, because it, all right. Sometimes the soldering may be stuck, so you want to make sure you can just break that solder so that the links are going to be hanging next to each other or right below each other rather than. Okay, so I think that's what that looks like. I think it's very cute. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add. We're going to go ahead and add our strands here. So we're going to take one of the other. Let me just come back out. we're going to take one of our jump rings that I made, and I used the 20 gauge. So I want to make sure that's open properly. And I want to take that and put that here. And I want to take the end of one of these. And I want to, you'll see the difference. So I want that closed area towards the back. So I just want the top part of that where you see the connection to the loop. I want that to be facing upward. I'm going to take that and close it. And then do the same thing to the other side. So I want to make sure I come in the loop frontwards. And the same thing, make sure I have the right side going there. It's very, very easy to make your own jump rings. Maybe I'll do a video on that one day. Okay, so far this is what we have. Oops, it's kind of stuck in there. And of course, I'll try these on when, as soon as we're done with the earrings and the necklace. So now I'm going to go ahead and add our toggle. So again, you can either make your own jump rings or just put on the ones that you already have. So for now, I'm just going to go and grab my own jump rings. And I think what I'm going to do is add 2 on this side. Okay, they got stuck together. I'll put that to the side for now. And then 1 on this side. Okay, and this will give it length so it can come through here. Okay. Sometimes if you don't have enough length from the bottom part of the bar in a toggle, you can't get it through. So I'm going to work that out now, and if I need to add another one, I will. But I think this should be fine. Okay, because this is thin enough anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and add this on to this, close that, now I have to take the one I added on. I have to open that because I have to now connect it to the clamshell. Put that right on there. And some of you are new to jewelry. Just remember, when you're opening and closing jump rings, it's back and forth, not outward. Okay, you don't want to distort. You want to just not distort your jump rings, and you want to minimize that as much as possible. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and add this, and then we can begin on our earrings. I can find that. There it is. All right, so I'm going to put it on here. Let's see. And it's not double-sided, so maybe I'll try this, see what happens. I'll put it this way. Okay, and I'm going to put this here. Whoops. And let's see if we can get that clasp through with no problems. And it looks good. Okay. I know sometimes it'll flip over. If that does and you want to have it the other way, then just come in the other direction. So that it's on top. Okay. It is going to bounce around and it's going to do whatever. So here we are. Here's the first one here. All right, so let's begin the earrings, and I'll be right back. All right, so let's begin doing the earrings. And as you can see, there's just one here because I've already finished one. And this is how I want to get this one done. So it is just really pretty. Whoop. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to need your 22 gauge. And I used my wire straighteners to kind of work harden it a bit. And of course you'll need your regular tools. And in this case, to do the ear wire, you'll need, this is going to be for the other one. We're going to take some 20 gauge also to do our own ear wire. So you'll probably need, this is about 2.5 inches. This is about 3.5, and then we'll get another one for another 3.5 inches for the ear wire. Okay, so we're going to start with that, and we'll put these over here, and just get your regular tools out. And for the ear wire, if you have a step bail, if you do not have a step bail pliers, then you can use your round nose pliers and try to follow the same thing. With your round nose pliers, let's see, so the part that I'm going to wrap around is this one, so it's the third smallest. Okay, so this is the smallest, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So this here is what I'm going to use to make the ear wire here. And the reason why I like using that one is because anything bigger than that, I tend to find that they fall out of my ears. And I know that you can use backs, you know, the silicone backs and everything like that, but with this, I don't need it. So that's why I decided that that's how I'm going to make my ear wires for a while. If I feel, you know, perhaps maybe if it's leaning on my jacket and pushing it up and out of my ear, then of course I'll wear an ear back, even with this size that I make, okay? So let's put that over here, and we're going to start with the ear wire. So with the 20 gauge, again, so about 3.5 inches. It doesn't have to be exact, just enough so you know that you have enough to go around, and then you're going to be cutting some off anyway. So you want to make sure that one end is flush cut, and this is the flush cut. So if you cut this way, this end of the wire is going to be nice and flat. If you don't and you cut this way, this wire is going to come to a jagged point. So I like to have at least one side that's flat because that's the side that I want to make my loop. So what I'm going to do is, now I mark my pliers sometimes. Now with the ear wire, I went slightly before that line, okay, just perhaps on it, and I want to come up just a little bit out of, hold on one second, let me come in a little. So if you see where that line is, and I have it sticking out just a little bit, okay, that's going to give it more of the teardrop look that I like. Why? Because what ends up happening is that sometimes if it's too round, that things that are hanging from it end up getting caught up on it. And so with the teardrop, it kind of the weight or the largest part of the circle is down at the bottom of that teardrop. So that's where your things that you dangle from it are going to stay, rather than get caught up into the loop and then everything is sticking out, or just, you know, get stuck up in the air and you'll see it sticking straight out and stuff like that. And then you got to constantly be trying to wiggle it back into place. Okay, so from here now we're just going to add that 4mm. If I can find that hole. Okay, now I'm going to take my 6-step plier, bail plier, okay, and you want that loop facing you, okay, because you're going to keep it just like that. And you're going to rest. Now normally without, if I don't make them with a bead or something here, then of course that loop is going to rest up against the larger part here. But because we're going to wrap around this one, we want to have that facing this way and have that bead leaning right on it, and just give it a nice hold, and then you're going to wrap it around and bring it all the way to your loop. Okay, then you're going to take your bail pliers out, and now you're facing that way. You're going to put your bail pliers back in, and now you're going to rest your loop on top of that one, okay, that you just wrapped around. Then you're going to take this, and then from underneath you're going to take your flush end and you're going to lean it right up against the biggest one we got here. Okay, see that? It leans right up against that, and that's where you're going to snip. Okay, then you're going to turn it around, come in, and then just give it a nice bend. Okay, and then you can pull it apart a little bit, because obviously you're going to have to get your ear in there. Okay, and if it gets, this is too jagged, you could take some sandpaper or a nail file and then just gently go through that with the file and round it out or soften it out. Okay, so now we got the ear wire done. We're going to put that to the side. Okay, so sorry guys, I had to pause the camera for a minute. I had a phone call coming in. Okay, so let's continue on. So we made our ear wire. Now we're going to go ahead with our star cut. And actually, let me get... So we're going to need our round nose pliers and our wire cutters right there. So we're going to come to right about that line. We don't need big honking, loops, because they'll just so again, you want to just have it out just a wee bit. Okay, I know this stuff is focusing on the background. Okay, all right, so right there, and you want it out just a little bit, as you can see, to get that teardrop shape. And you want to make sure that you get your loop on the same mark every time, which is the reason why we mark some of us in the jewelry world will mark our round nose pliers. Okay, so, and then I just went in at the corner here and then just turned it outward a little, so you get yourself like your little eye pin. And there is a space there, but we will close that when we open it to connect the other one. So with that, make sure it's straight. Now we're going to go ahead and stick that on. Okay, and you want the loops going the same way. Okay, so I'm just going to bend, and then I'm going to cut where I normally would cut. Okay, and the same thing. get on my mark. Sometimes you have to play around a little bit to make sure it gets closed. Okay. All right. So we have, and then just see that sometimes it gets a little out of whack. So you can use your flat nose, straighten everything out. And also, to make sure that they are facing in the same direction, let's go on each side, and as you can see, they're not even, so you want to make sure you turn it so that they are. Okay. All right, so we'll put that, and we'll do this one here. Now this one, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I'm doing this as part of a cute little design. So as you can see, I just want to put a little loop there, and hopefully it'll come out the same. So I take the end of my little, this is that 2-in-1 from the Xuron, and I want to come in here and go to the very end, and then just like you're starting a spiral. Okay. All right, and then you're going to put that in right about here. Okay, right underneath, and go right about there, and then just turn this up 90 degrees, something like that. Maybe not quite so, because you want to give yourself enough space here that it's going to go up and over, and you don't necessarily have to do that. Like I said, you know, you can make that little loop any way you choose. So, and they may not always come out the exact same way, and then you're gonna bend it over once you stick it through. Okay, and it'll anchor that right in there, so it's like a, just like you know, a head pin. So from here, then we're gonna go in and take that here, because this is going to be a wrapped loop. Okay, go ahead and bend that over. Take your round nose pliers, and I'm not going to go quite to my mark, but a little bit before that, because I don't want this loop to be that big. So I'm going to come over, okay, and then come up. Bring that around, and then shimmy it up. Okay, so you have your little loop. And what I did was, because this is a 22 gauge, I just decided I was going to use my hand to wrap, because it's soft enough, and I want to make sure that that's down in there. And wrap all the way down and around. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and snip that off. And they will go flying. Sometimes it's unavoidable. And then just come in and tuck that in. Okay. Now I want to look, and you'll see that this loop is facing, this loop is facing this way, so we want this one to face the same way. So you're just going to turn it to face the front. Okay. All right, and so I want to close this up a little bit, because the other one is also closed a little. So I just want to kind of give it a little close. All right, so that it's a little closer. And it's just simple. I mean, if you want to make a bigger one, a bigger swirl, but I didn't want to hide this beautiful pearl, shell bead, mother of, I guess it's freshwater. So many pearls. We have the freshwater pearls, we have the mother of pearls, and stuff like that. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and open one side here. And like I said, I kind of like to use these to open. Oops, not these. I have so many tools here. Okay, the bent nose ones to grab right here. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and open. And we want to make sure that I want this towards the back. So I'm going to go like that, okay? Because at least the connection won't be in the front. Let's see. So you can double check to make sure it's lined up. So when you're looking at it from the front, you're just seeing a seamless. It just looks seamless. You're not seeing where it connects in the back if it happens to be showing. But in some cases it may, some may not. So I just tried to do it in every case just to keep the seamless end in the front. Okay. So now we have this here and open this. Now we know that this has to face front. So when we open this, I want to make sure I'm getting the right side. So remember, this has to come to the front. And we can just, as we're opening, push towards, because when we go to close now, then we can make that connection. So I want to make sure I'm getting it in the right place, okay? So I'm going to come in like this. Sorry, I'm going to come in like this. And that's going to be facing the front, because you can tell by the embellishment. Okay, and then just let it hang there, and we're going to go ahead and turn that around and close it up. And just a wee bit more. I like to always double check to make sure it is lined up and that it's not all crooked. Okay, and now we can just go ahead and add the ear wire. And that's going to be it for this tutorial. I have some other things that I'm going to be putting up, of course, with my subscription boxes. I do get the orphanage, the Gemstone Orphanage subscription, so I'm going to be working on some of those. So I'll work on designing a piece to do a tutorial here, and also a tutorial for a different piece on the Homestring Jewelry channel, because that is who does a subscription for the Gemstone Orphanage. And of course any other materials that I have that are not from subscription boxes, but I will, create some stuff. In fact, I just got somebody who wants to order 3 bracelets from me, and so I'm really excited, and I've been designing them for the last couple of days, and so I hope that I can do them justice, and I hope they'll be happy. I think they will, because they saw one of my bracelets that I have made, that I was going to, that I have in my possession every day that I go to work, because I'm hoping to see the person that has requested that I create something, and hopefully they'll purchase it as a wedding gift to one of her friends, because she really did like my my designs and stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll see her soon. If not, oh well, it'll be up for sale some other time, I guess. All right, so I think that's it, everybody. Let me get this back in frame, because I think these are just gorgeous. Of course, we're always biased to our own. And let's see if I can bring that up. And okay, I'm going to put it on pause for a minute. I got to get it arranged. Okay, I'm back, and here they are. And you can see all the beautiful sparkles. I think I put it on a little bit crooked. So yeah, you can see all the beautiful sparkles in here and all in between. The cute little necklace, the earrings, yeah. It's so cute. And I'm so glad I put those little rhinestones on there. And, you know, because it's got the multicolor in there, so I just think that it's really pretty. Let me see if I can bring this down a wee bit. I don't think my camera wants to bend that far. Anyway, so yeah, they are so light. They're not heavy on the ears. And I made myself a little post here because I have the little post and I glued on the same rhinestones. And in fact, I got a package of them. There's like 1,000 of them in here. And so, but I'm going to be ordering, I have some on the way that are just the AB finish and also the chameleon colors. So kind of like this one, but they're, each little container has different colors of the chameleon colors. So yeah, I just think this is so cute and it's comfortable. It's not heavy at all. And of course, you know, I like my little sparkles and the shine. Sparkles and shine is really, really important to me when I make my pieces. Not to say that I won't make things that don't have that brilliant shine, but you know, like some gemstones when I'm making bracelets or things. But I am working on something right now that is going to be kind of a challenge for me. I'm just going to try to do a video of putting gemstones and crystals and things together and see how many I can get out of that. So hopefully that will be my next video. So everyone, again, thank you so much for coming here. I appreciate you all so much. And again, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button because that absolutely gets my channel recommended. So thank you all so much for coming here and subscribing. And if you have not yet, please do that. So everyone, thank you so much. God bless, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Happy beading. Bye.